Start. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, my name is Kevin Tang. I'm the developer for ControllerKeys, which is a macOS application that lets you use any wireless controller that you can connect to your Mac via Bluetooth. So here I have a DualSense controller as a keyboard, a mouse, and a macro pad. So you can map any of these buttons to any action, and you have mouse control with the analog sticks, and you also have mouse control with touchpad if you have the DualSense controller. So you can see here, the touchpad makes things really nice. So you actually even have two-finger gestures with the touchpad, where you can zoom and pan with the touchpad if you have a DualSense controller with the touchpad. But anyways, today I had a big screen and I wanted to show you guys a demo of ControllerKeys. So first of all, why would you want to use ControllerKeys? Well, ControllerKeys lets you do things like work, give presentations, give lectures on the go. So you don't have to be bound to a desk. You're not chained to a desk. You're not chained to a chair. You can be moving around, or you can lay on the couch. You can lay on the ground if it's your screen. But anyways, I can move around and have full functionality, full control over my computer, which is not something you can say with something like a Elgato Stream Deck or something like a one of those pointers that might only give you a few buttons worth of control. You might be able to click, move your cursor, but you don't have a keyboard. So in ControllerKeys, there's an action that you can map to a special action. It's on-screen keyboard action that you can map to any button. I have it here mapped to L2 or the LT button. And so when I hold it down, I have an on-screen keyboard that shows up. That lets me type any keyword commands. I also have some saved text over here, so I can paste or type any saved text. I have some terminal commands where I can open a new terminal and run any commands, so that really gives me a lot of flexibility. I can open any app or open any website. And from here, you also have a command wheel where you can open any app or open any website from here as well. So yeah, ControllerKeys really lets you fully control your computer, whatever you want to do with it. If you want to work, so I use it for coding. You can do vibe coding if you configure one of the buttons to a voice command. Now with the transcription tools, like Whisper transcription tools, it's really accurate, so you can do some vibe coding. You can use Claude Code or Codex or Gemini with this. If you want to give presentations, if you're a lecturer or a professor, you can use this to control OBS commands. So any app that exposes hotkeys through the keyboard or mouse, if they expose those hotkeys, then there's a way you can map them to a button or a combination of buttons. You can actually press multiple buttons to activate a chord. So you have so many options of mappings, and you can trigger anything that you would be able to trigger with a keyboard and a mouse. So it's really, really powerful, and it lets you be free. So you can move around and control your computer. So you might ask, what kind of things do I personally have mapped to the controller? Well, I have a lot of navigation commands. Like I can easily do things like move the window around, so I have full control over that. I can do things like drag the window around with my mouse if I need to. I can do things like switch from apps to app with this command wheel. I can do things like open a new pane in my terminal, so I can split panes vertically, horizontally. All this is mapped to my controller. I can do things like take a screenshot. So right now I'm screen recording, and I have my double FN keys mapped to this. So there are really so many possibilities. And yeah, I'm actually using the DualSense Edge controller, which has 2 extra keys here and 2 extra bumpers on the back, which gives you a little bit more optionality for this. And that PlayStation Edge controller is fully supported in ControllerKeys, so you can use it, and it has the ability to map all those keys to any actions that you want. Let's see what other features are notable here. So I'll come back to ControllerKeys. So I have it mapped to a button to come back to ControllerKeys. So anything that you can't do with a single action, that you can't map to a single keyboard hotkey or mouse gesture or something like that, you can map to a macro. So a macro lets you chain together multiple options. So here, I have a macro for check NVIDIA news. So this is an example macro, and what it does, the steps are in it, it opens Google Chrome in a new window, and then it presses Command L, which would move the cursor to the search bar in the browser, and then it types NVIDIA stock news, and it pastes that, and then it presses return to search it. So that's a macro chain together multiple commands. So, and if I press add step here, you can see all of the different options that a macro will let you do. So you can do a key press, keyboard, type text, delay, open app, or open link. So ControllerKeys is really versatile, very flexible. You can really do a lot of things that you want on your computer. And if there's something that you can't do, a bonus tip, you can install the app Hammerspoon and write your own scripts to expose different actions on your computer to certain hotkeys on your keyboard. So something that I have mapped to Hammerspoon, configurable via Hammerspoon, is the ability for me to AirPlay to my TV at home on my Mac with a Chord. So pressing 2 buttons at once, it'll automatically trigger AirPlay. So that's something that I set up via Hammerspoon. So this app is truly very configurable, and if there's something that does not match your needs, this app is open source, so you can take a look at the GitHub. If you're a developer, I welcome you to contribute. I can use some more developers to help with this app. And if you're not, then you can buy this app on my website. It's only $10 right now. It's special release pricing. I just released this about a month or 2 ago. Yeah, I just fell in love with the idea. I'm surprised nobody has really done this before, and I hope you love the idea as well. And I hope that you can support me on this journey and making ControllerKeys one of the best macOS applications for using your controller to control your computer. Anyways, that has been the demo. Thank you very much for listening in. See you next time.